sick and tired of people doing this to Tommy RIch. You know, he can't wrestle. He's hurt. He shouldn't be in the ring. But there ain't nothing wrong with me, and I've just got that television title, brother, and I'll put it right in the ring right now and put any one of those Heenan family right in there with me, and I'll put that belt up, and we'll wrestle for it right now.
Wow, well, there you heard it. The television championship going on the line. Stan Hansen going up against, I think, I'm not sure, but it looked like it was Killer Karl Cox who took the challenge. Don't forget, we're going to be seeing Bret Hart and Buzz Sawyer in action. All of this upcoming here on Georgia Championship Wrestling. I can assure you, we got a lot of excitement still coming on the program. There's no question about that. And right now, of course, we're going to go to our regular weekly feature, this one involving Tommy RIch, but we'll be back with that right after we pause for these words.
Never enjoyed nothing, you know. I won the belt. The people were there behind me, you know, and it was short-lived. You know, Mr. Heenan, he took the cigar. Cox took the cigar away from me and crammed it in my face.
You're referring to what happened on TV here, then, aren't you?
Yes, sir, Fred. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, last week I didn't get to come out. I'd just like to take now and show all the people that I'm here and I'm doing all right.
We're glad you are, and just for the benefit of all the fans, let's show exactly what happened. Gordon's voice narrating exactly what happened when you were defending that belt. You'd been challenged by Heenan. You defended it right here on television. Here's what occurred at that time.
Champion caught with a knee. Has him down a count of 2. No, sir. Powered out before the count of 3. He powered out before that count of 3. And Heenan has lit his victory cigar. Heenan has lit his victory cigar. He must feel he's got it all going his way. But the champion is firing back in desperation now. The challenger Cox down. Beautiful high knee lift. Heenan up there, and Ole Anderson grabs him and takes him out of the way. Caught now from behind. Anderson caught now from behind. Tommy RIch has scored a pinfall. We've got them all in there now. Tommy RIch scored the pinfall and defeated Killer Karl Cox. Cox after... and now there's Heenan in there. It's Tommy Wildfire RIch powering away, catches Cox. Cox catches him back. Anderson. Canvas having the shirt completely torn away from him by the superstar. We've got total bedlam and chaos here in the ring. And it is Tommy Wildfire RIch pounding away, and now all of a sudden, Tommy RIch catches, he's caught Bobby Heenan, and now wait a second. Killer Karl Cox has that light, smashes it into the face. He caught him in the face with that cigar. Caught him in the face with that cigar. And I don't know how badly, but it appears to me that, Ole Anderson.
All right, Tommy, there's exactly what happened. He caught you with a burning cigar right here on television after you'd won and defended your belt very well.
Yes, sir. I don't know what Mr. Heenan or Mr. Cox, either one, had in their mind. But right here, there's the Georgia belt, Cox, Heenan. I got that, and you can't take it away from me. You stuck the cigar in my face, and I don't know if you thought that would run me out of Georgia or what you was going to do. But right now, you just listen to me, Cox and Heenan, because before it's all over, you know, you look at it. You look at it. You want to see it, brother. You look at it. Right there it is, Cox, Heenan, and I don't care where it's at. Atlanta, Georgia, Columbus, Georgia. But before it's all over, we're going to come together, and I'm going to get you back. If it takes me getting a cigar, a cigarette, or whatever it takes, Cox, Heenan, you know, and rumor is Harley Race might have a little something to do with it. But I don't care what it comes down to. I've got the Georgia belt now. You know, they thought they was going to run me out of Georgia, Freddie, but I'm still right here. My face is burnt, but it'll get well. But I won't forget, because when I get up in the mornings, Cox, I remember exactly who stuck the cigar in my face. So you think about it. You look at it right now, Cox, because right there it is. And before it's all over, just like I said, I'll get you. If it takes all I got, I'm going to get you, Cox.
Thank you, Tommy. He's a very determined, very adamant man at this point, and rightfully so. And Heenan has been skirting the issues. And Tommy RIch is right. There is no ends that he won't resort to, apparently, to accomplish his deeds of doing in Tommy RIch, even calling on the world's heavyweight wrestling champion, Harley Race. Well, All that lies ahead. We'll be talking about it. Let's go back to Gordon. Thanks again, Tommy RIch.
And thank you, Freddie. I might just mention that upcoming now on Georgia Championship Wrestling, of course, we will have Stan Hansen defending the Georgia Television Championship right here on this program in just a few moments. You know, we've had a lot of cards and letters requesting scientific matches on Georgia Championship Wrestling, and of course that's what we're going to be seeing right in just a moment or two. Two outstanding young competitors, both of them with outstanding amateur backgrounds, one a Canadian provincial champion, the other one a national high school champion, Buzz Sawyer and Bret Hart. We're going to have that match right after we pause for these words.
Florida, weighing in at 225 pounds, Buzz Sawyer. His opponent from Great Falls, Montana, weighing in at 222 pounds, Bret Hart.
Bret Hart, a second-generation wrestler, comes from a large family. Fine sign of sportsmanship, both men shaking hands briefly before they move in against each other. One fall, 10-minute time limit. Good drop toe hold. Notice the way he's tried to get in for a crotch ride with the leg. And so it's Sawyer with the ride. Hart now in a 4-point position. Sawyer. Bringing him around, but that arm is underneath the shoulder. He's in a predicament, but he is not watching that shoulder. He rolls it off once again. Both of these men exponents of the scientific methods of wrestling. Consequently, the referee should have a fairly easy time of it. Good hip lock slam. Sawyer moving into his man. Hart keeping the arm hooked. Good hip lock takedown once again. Again, Sawyer comes out of it before the count of 3. Hart now. The go behind. Sawyer now. Bottom wrist lock, drop toe hold. Takedown on Hart. And it's Hart coming back to his feet once again. Sawyer keeping that arm tied up. Sawyer keeping the pressure on. Another drop toe hold that thinks Hart partially blocked, however, only went down to one knee. Gets the side headlock on Buzz Sawyer. Now switches to a go behind. A waist cinch. High waist lift takedown. Sawyer trying to sit out and escape. Hart continues the ride. Goes into the one arm. They're back into the ropes. The referee calls for the break. So far, a very even match between these two. High hip toss. That one, he got it under his ribs all the way. Again, they lock up, collar and elbow. Good fireman carry by Buzz Sawyer. Takes Hart to the canvas. Dropped in nice and low that time. Brought him into the fireman carry. Now to an inside armbar. Hart on the canvas. Kip up by Hart, back on his feet. Now Hart driving the heel of the hand to the side of the jaw. Sawyer keeping the arm tied up. Hart now trying to figure an escape number 1 and a counter move number 2 if he can. All right, Hart now moves in. Sawyer caught him a good shoulder smash. That time was Hart dropping to the canvas. High hip toss. Sawyer breaks it up. Arm drag takedown on Bret Hart. So on the basis of takedowns, it would appear that Sawyer might be slightly ahead. All right, it is Sawyer. The inside armbar on Bret Hart. Hart, as I said, is from a large family. He has 2 other brothers who wrestle. Although Hart appears to be the outstanding member of the family. Up to the ropes once again. Sawyer drop, good shoulder smash. Puts Hart to the canvas. Leapfrog by Sawyer. Flying drop kick. Well executed. Outstanding competition between these two. Sawyer may be slightly more aggressive in this. Hart may be a good kip up by Hart once again. Hart may be a little more in the defensive posture, waiting for Sawyer to make a mistake coming to him. Rear chin lock by Hart now. Notice he is under the chin, however, but not coming across the throat. All right, Sawyer trying to get back to his feet now. Hart continues to keep the pressure on. Sawyer back to his feet. He's going to have to try and make his escape if he can. Be interesting to see what he attempts to do from that escape if he's able to escape. Sawyer now, tremendous effort here, trying to pull that forearm up and away from his head. Comes off, shoulder smash. Sawyer up and around his man, caught with a hip toss, and it is Sawyer back into the inside armbar. Hart back into his man, facing him once again. Sawyer keeping the armbar. Hart now trying to move away from it. Does so. Brings Sawyer up. Tried for a body slam. And, misfired and tried for a rolling reverse, and it's Sawyer now sustaining a head injury. Hip block takedown by Hart. And so Hart beginning to move a little more aggressively now. Sensing that head injury and maybe pressing that advantage as much as he can. Keeps the side headlock, Sawyer. In a trapped posture right now, Hart has a side headlock. Sawyer trying to figure an escape if he can. All right, watching him carefully now. It is Sawyer coming up rather slowly. He may be still stunned. Hart maintains the side headlock. All right, bulls him back to the ropes. Powers him off. Comes off. He's caught with a shoulder smash. Dropped to the canvas. Sawyer coming up rather slowly. Drops to the canvas once again. A leg sweep that time by Buzz Sawyer. So as Hart turned to his man, Sawyer very quickly moved in, swept the leg, and took him off his feet. So it's Hart back on the canvas. Sawyer keeping that leg imprisoned now. Hart with one shoulder on the canvas, but not much danger of getting pinned at this point. Breaks it up. Hart again with a side headlock. A hip lock takedown has Sawyer back to the canvas. So Hart, as I said, beginning to move a little more aggressively towards Sawyer now. Leaving the defensive posture and becoming more aggressive. Sawyer. Good move by Hart. Rolling reverse. Tried to get those shoulders down. Almost did it. Sawyer comes up again. It is Hart once again with a side headlock. And so Hart, very definitely now the aggressor. Hart, side headlock. Sawyer brings him up. Beautiful suplex, and that might be all she wrote, except that took its toll of Sawyer as well. The dual count is on 3, 4. And it's Sawyer on his knees. Hart coming up even more slowly. He took the brunt of that. Hart comes off. Both men crashing into each other, coming off those ropes. The count is on 5. And it's Sawyer and Hart. Both men trying for drop kicks at the same time. Neither man connecting. And it was Sawyer trying going for a body slam, and it was Hart to an inside cradle. Beautiful heel block and takedown by Sawyer. Drop toe hold blocked by Hart. Into the ropes. The referee will be calling for the break. Outstanding competition between these two, and they're resorting to the basics once again. Got him to go behind into a saddle, but it was broken up. Inside cradle. No, sir. Came out of it again. So both men now going for the pinfall. Tried for a body slam. It was blocked by Sawyer. Back into the ropes. The time limit has expired. The time limit has expired. Neither man able to score the pinfall. A fine display of sportsmanship. You see them congratulating each other. An outstanding match between them. And but neither man able to score the pinfall. And so the time limit has expired, and that match is a draw.
Like I told you before, when they get up in the morning, I've already been awake, and when they go to bed, I'm still up. I'm thinking 24 hours a day. There is no wrestler, no human being alive that can match wits with me, or is as smart as me, or is as talented as I am. You know, I negotiate contracts 7 days a week. I'm on the phone with every promoter all over the world, all over the country. That is why I manage the best. That is why I am the best, because I stay on top of things. It's worked again. A big, dumb hayseed farmer fell into my trap. I'm kind of even embarrassed. It was so easy. So easy. The big, dumb hayseed hick farmer fell into my trap, which really you shouldn't brag about it because it didn't take much to do it.
I see. All right, well, thank you so very much, pretty boy Bobby Heenan, and here's the word for all of you.
This match will be for the Georgia TV Championship. One fall with a TV time limit. Introducing first the challenger, Killer Karl Cox, accompanied by his manager, pretty boy Bobby Heenan. His opponent, weighing in at 320 pounds, the bad man from Borger, Texas, the Georgia TV champion, Stan the Lariat Hansen.
Stan the Lariat Hansen putting the Georgia Television Championship on the line against Killer Karl Cox. All right. Cox getting set to move out. Back into the ring ropes. The referee separates them, and once again they close in like two hungry bears. Again, the referee trying to separate them, and both men tremendously intent on the match. They're into the ropes, and again, the referee trying to separate them. Hansen now with a side headlock on Killer Karl Cox. Now Cox, forearms into the ribcage of Stan Hansen. Hansen applying the pressure on that side headlock. Hansen at about 300 pounds from Borger, Texas. Good block by Hansen, back into a side headlock on Killer Karl Cox. Still trapped in that side headlock. Face and head reddening considerably from the pressure applied by Stan Hansen. Hansen, taller and the heavier of the two. He is the Georgia Television champion. High hip toss by Stan the Lariat Hansen. Hip lock takedown by Hansen into a side headlock. Referee watching carefully now. Bobby Heenan pacing back and forth and a look of consternation on his face. He's the one that goaded Hansen into this situation. So he has his championship match. That's what he wanted. All right. Hansen. That pressure on Cox with a taped hand. Rolls him in. Tried for the pin. And Heenan complaining about a slow count, but that was not a slow count. Referee checking their shoulders once again. And again, Cox bridging. You can see he had those trunks, however. And Hansen firing a miss now. Opens up some heavy artillery on Killer Karl Cox. All right. Cox, now there you see Heenan. Obviously disgruntled over this turn of events thus far. Cox has not been able to garner that title. Cox now has the television champion in trouble. Catches him again. And now Heenan looking more pleased. Asking for the brainbuster. Cox unloads, so does Hansen now. And they're both into those ring ropes. Hansen partially outside the ropes.
Garden, Sawyer.
Ernie the Cat Ladd has just come over here to the... All right, Ernie the Cat Ladd has joined me over here, and he wants to show us something here on television. Let's
Watch it. This is what I think of it.
wait a minute now. Isn't that Stan Hansen's hat?
Nothing about Stan Hansen.
Well, and Hansen coming out over here. Watch it. We've got a slugfest going on over here. Let me get out of the way. And it's Ernie the Cat Ladd on a wild melee now. Hansen was counted out. Hansen was counted out of the ring. Hansen left the ring. He was counted out. Hansen fought again. Hansen outside. And Cox. Hansen was counted out of the ring. This means that Cox is the new television champion. Tommy RIch has just charged the ring. Tommy RIch pounding away at Killer Karl Cox. RIch has gone wild. Tommy Wildfire RIch, and it's we've got total bedlam now in the ring filling up. We've got everybody jumping into that ring at one time. Ole Anderson holding him off now. And it is Tommy Wildfire RIch still pounding away. We're going to try and get order restored here in just a minute if we can. And we've got Ernie Ladd trapped here trying to get around Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson. And we're trying to get order restored at this point. Trying to get order restored.
You think all hell's fixing to break loose Friday night? That's just a little loving, Cox and Heenan, because I'm going to get you. It's the last thing I do.
Well, obviously, a lot of things.
Action, they're going to get some action. They're going to find out. I told Tommy, you got to fight fire with fire. I tell you, nobody knows better than this man right here at old Ole Anderson. The two of us are going to get together. We're going to have our tips, our face all just taped up. And we're going to put some nuts on Mr. Cox, Mr. Heenan, Mr. Ladd, the whole bunch of them.
Bobby Heenan, you got to play hell. You got to play hell for it. I'm telling you, me and Anderson and RIch, we're coming Friday night, brother. We're coming right here.
Okay, it's all going to happen this coming Friday night. May I just point out, too, there will be wrestling tonight in Calhoun, also tonight in Carrollton, next Thursday night in Rome and Adel, and, of course, next Friday night, November 9th, in Knoxville at the Civic Coliseum. And I might point out that Tony Atlas will be there. And I see this was a ploy in getting you outside the ring the way they did.
Well, I don't care. I might be a little dumb, but let me tell you something. I'm coming right back. I learned a lesson real quick. Let me tell you something. I want Killer Karl Cox. I want Bobby Heenan. Everybody's got out here and said it, but nothing ever happens. I want you guys. I want you, Ladd. I want you, Superstar. Me and Ole Anderson, we're going to start running together a little bit. It's going to be the nastiest two guys you ever seen, because we don't wrestle. A long time ago, everybody feared us and respected us, and that's the way it's going to be in the future. I just want a chance to get any three of those guys, any part of the Bobby Heenan family in the ring. I don't care where it is, again, right here. Like I said, I might not be the brightest guy, but I'm one of the toughest, nastiest dogs that ever walked. And if anybody wants to get me into the ring, come on. Killer Karl Cox, I had your butt beat. Ernie Ladd, I whipped you right out of this thing. So I lost the title. Let me tell you something. It took two in the brains of Bobby Heenan to do it. And I'm going to tell you something, Heenan. You might be smart, but you're a little bit weird. And I'm going to take you into the ring anywhere. Me and Anderson, we're going to be together, and I just hope they got enough guts, which I doubt, to get in the ring with us. I'm mad. I don't care what you want to say, anything else. Me and Anderson. And somebody's going to pay, Ole, and I'm sick and tired of running second to everybody around here.
Tell you what, Stan has said it. All you got to do, Heenan, get you and any one of your family, get two of them, get three of them, get all of them. We're making a challenge to them right now, right here on TV, anytime they want to. They don't have to wait for the building. They don't have to wait for the arena somewhere. Get yourself out here, get all that nasty crew together, bring them on television, Stan, and I'll challenge them right here in the ring.
Let me ask you one question in regards to this Ernie Ladd situation. Of course, you hold one belt, Ernie Ladd holds the other. What do you intend to do about this Georgia Tag Team Championship?
Well, at the moment, there's several different situations they've offered. Promoters have talked about two of us maybe competing in a one-on-one situation for those belts. They've also suggested maybe I get a partner and maybe Ernie Ladd get a partner, we decide. It's up in the air right now. But it doesn't make any difference to me. Belt, no belt, up, down, round, side, here, there, anywhere. I don't care. I want to see Ladd. I want to see Cox. I want to see Heenan. And I think if old Stan and I get together, the two Swedes, I think that we could knock somebody a little bit stiff. Maybe knock him into next week.
Well, there you have it, an open challenge to the Bobby Heenan family. Mr. Hansen and Mr. Ole Anderson have agreed that they would like to wrestle them right here today on television. It'd be interesting to find out if Mr. Heenan wants to answer that challenge. We'll be back with our first match in just a moment.
Introducing first from Marietta, Georgia, weighing in at 220 pounds, Lynn, Owen. His opponent from St. Petersburg, Florida, weighing in at 225 pounds, Buzz Sawyer. Referee is Tommy Weathers.
All right, Buzz Sawyer in the black trunks. It is Owens from Marietta in the red wrestling shoes. Pulls him back into the ropes. A good clean break by Sawyer. Steps back. It'll be interesting to see if Mr. Heenan's going to answer the challenge. Good. Hip lock takedown by Sawyer. Has Owens on the canvas. Owens competing with a broken finger, as you can see. Owens trying to drive under the chin, trying to drive Sawyer's head back. Sawyer back on his feet once again. Then Owens caught with a shoulder smash by Sawyer. Back on his feet, favoring his back somewhat. Good drop toe hold by Sawyer. A roll up on that leg. Sawyer keeps the pressure on it. Sawyer going after those legs now, trying to tie them up and cut down some of this man's mobility, obviously. Oh, partial crotch ride on the legs. Sawyer continues to press that advantage. Now, brings this man over. Inside step over. An inside step over on Owens. Referee watching those shoulders carefully. Sawyer has been the definite aggressor thus far in the match. Sawyer closing in on that leg again. Another inside step over. Owens keeping those shoulders off. The referee checking in. It is Sawyer pressing full weight down on that leg now, trying to get those shoulders down for a count of 3. Into the ropes. The referee calls for the break. Leg sweep by Sawyer, and Sawyer back after that leg again. And so Sawyer has been constantly punishing the leg of Owens. Now Sawyer Up on that second rope coming off, and Owens outside the ring, and he's got problems now. Owens coming up very slowly, favoring that leg. Back in by the count of 6, but he's got a problem, and so Sawyer has very definitely cut down the mobility of Lynn Owens. Once again, circling his man, watching him carefully. Moves in collar and elbow. Owens now with a side headlock on Buzz Sawyer. Sawyer comes out of it into a top wrist lock. And Owens got some extra advantage that time, being warned by the referee. Again, Owens with a side headlock. Owens denying pulling the hair, but it is Sawyer. He's caught on that side headlock. Now once again comes out to a top wrist lock. Sawyer moves in, and it is Owens ripping across the eyes of Buzz Sawyer. Catching him a hard chopping blow to the side of the head. An elbow to the base of the skull that has Sawyer staggered and going up against that rope. Now Sawyer, obviously beginning to lose his temper somewhat. Caught him with a flying drop kick that almost tore his head off. Brings him up, full body slam. Sawyer crashes down with that knee into the shoulder and chest of Lynn Owens. An overhand right that stuns Owens and puts him to the canvas. And Owens is proving to be tough. He's taken a lot of punishment and is dishing it back out. Into the ropes. It is Sawyer blocking him. He tried for a hip toss. Sawyer blocked him very nicely. Came off the ropes. Ducked in behind his man. Brings him down to the canvas. It is Owens coming up very slowly. Good block. Into the ropes once again. Good clean break. Sawyer watching his man. A lock-up collar and elbow once again back into those ropes. And it is Sawyer bringing him a power slam. Had him all the way on that one. Beautiful power slam by Buzz Sawyer. I want to bring him over here and talk to him about the Heenan has finally come to ringside. I'm curious to find out how you want to answer that challenge.
Well, first of all he's done is made a challenge. He hasn't made it worth my while yet. If Ole Anderson wants to get a partner, if he wants to hang around with that big dumb hayseed, that's his business. But put the belts on the line. Make it a championship match. Then we'll accept. Anytime, any place, anywhere. But as far as I'm concerned, just to get in the ring right now and beat that turncoat Ole Anderson, some big dumb hick he's hanging with, that don't mean nothing to me. I've already outsmarted that dumb farmer once. Killer Karl Cox is the new television champion. I'll find a partner for Ernie Ladd. There'll be no trouble about that. But make it worth our while. Let him come up with the belts. Make it important to me. But just to beat you and a dumb plowboy, no, don't waste my time.
Indeed. Any comments?
I don't have anything further to say. If Ole Anderson or Stan Hansen or Tommy RIch, if you want to do something, you step into the ring. Don't stand out here and badmouth. You've got to prove it to us right there in the ring.
Remember, don't waste my time.
All right, well, that takes care of that situation. I still don't know where we stand in that particular episode. I want to take a moment now to talk to Ricky Fields. I'm having a little trouble understanding him.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hansen's out here, Heenan's out here running his mouth and everything. Well, Ole and Hansen are hot enough about this whole thing. They just may take him up on that challenge about the belts. It's hot enough, they're just allowed to take it up on him.
That would be interesting indeed to find out if that would happen, and hopefully we'll find out before this program is over, Rick.
That's right. That's one match I'd like to see myself.
Amen to that. All right, I'll tell you what. Getting set for our next match now, so let's turn it over to our ring announcer.
This match will be one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from Brownsville, Tennessee, weighing in at 240 pounds, Karl Fergie. His opponent from Roanoke, Virginia, weighing in at 250 pounds, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
Tony Atlas going up against Karl Fergie. One fall, 10-minute time limit, and Atlas favoring that left leg, as you can see, and we'll be talking more about that a little bit later on in the program. The referee checking that knee now. Well, Atlas being very careful. And Fergie right away going after that knee. Atlas with a good back out. Backs out some more. Atlas set and ready, but definitely protecting that knee. He was caught in a figure 4. And win, lose, or draw, I want to talk to Tony Atlas after this match and talk to him about that figure 4 and the exceptionally dangerous hold. Austin Idol, of course, has a $1,000 challenge to anybody who can break the figure 4 once it's applied. Good takedown by Tony Atlas. Fergie on the canvas. Atlas keeping the armbar on Fergie. Fergie makes it to the ring ropes and forces the break. Atlas watches his man. Fergie backs away. So, a hurt knee or not, Tony Atlas still very definitely, very much. Fergie went after it. Atlas very quickly broke it up, but Fergie is definitely going for that knee. You see Atlas favoring that knee still very, very. Atlas now with a side headlock on Karl Fergie. Atlas maintains the pressure on Fergie. Fergie trying to come out of the side headlock. Referee checking, asking if he wants to give. Back to the ropes once again. Fergie tried to fire him off. Atlas blocked it very nicely. Back to the ropes. Tony Atlas tied up. Fergie pounds away at the midsection. Tried to arm whip him off. Atlas reversed that situation. Caught him. High backdrop. And so Fergie in trouble now as Atlas closes in once again. Tony Atlas picked him up a full body slam. Lateral press. Fergie comes out before the count of 3. Right, circles his man, watches him carefully. Back into the turnbuckles. Fergie fires to the midsection. Now after that leg again. And it is Atlas down, and this is where he may have made a bad mistake. Fergie now closing in on that injured knee. Fergie continues to pound away on a Tony Atlas on the canvas, in trouble now. Fergie using the flat of the foot. Atlas face grimacing in pain as Fergie is after it now, wraps it into that ring rope. And it is Tony Atlas in a lot of trouble. May have been a bad mistake on Tony Atlas's part to come out and wrestle today with that injured knee. No, sir. Powers out. A near fall for Karl Fergie on Tony Atlas. Atlas comes up, catches him in the midsection. Fergie fires back. It's Atlas catching him one to the side of the head. Atlas catches him again on the side of the jaw. Another one to the side of the jaw. Fergie is staggered. Fergie caught again. And Fergie is dropped to the canvas by Tony Atlas. Again, Fergie to the midsection. Atlas clubbing punches. Now a slugfest between these two. He misses. He gets him in a full Nelson. He has him in a full Nelson. And he has him driven all the way to the canvas now. Tony Atlas, massive pressure with that full Nelson. And Fergie finally conceded a submission hold by Tony Atlas, having his hand raised in victory at this time. I want to take a moment, as I said, win, lose, or draw, I want to take a moment to talk to Tony Atlas. I can't help but feel that he took a real risk in possibly re-injuring that knee, as he is having a hard time coming out of the ring at this point in time, trying to get that knee up and over the ring rope. Fergie, of course, who is completely wiped out with that full Nelson. And I want to take a moment to talk to Tony, and very frankly, Tony, I'm surprised that you even tried to wrestle today.
Well, you know, if you sign a contract to wrestle somebody, it ain't that man's fault that my legs is injured. I had a contract to wrestle him, and I'm going to live up to any contract I put my name to. You know, I don't care what they do to me. Austin Idol, I had a match with him. I was supposed to have a match with him, and the dog didn't wrestle me. He sent somebody else to get his whooping. Then after the match, he jumped in and put that figure 4 on my knee. Now, the figure 4 is a hold that I ain't familiar with. I have seen a lot of holds, and I ain't too familiar with the figure 4. But you let me tell you something. I'm on a train. I'm going to train like I never trained before, and I'm going to find a way to get out that figure 4, because I got a family and everything to take care of, and I can't afford to get myself hurt and watch my wife and daughter go hungry. So you let me tell you something, Austin Idol. The time's going to come where your knee going to be bandaged up, where your neck going to be bandaged up, your arm going to be bandaged up. And if I don't do it, my name ain't what it is, because Austin Idol, I'm getting tired of people coming here to this area trying to hurt me, trying to put me out of professional wrestling. This is my living. This took me out of the ghettos, brother, when I used to get up every morning and watch my mother put cowboy in her shoes just to go out and work split shift to give me something to eat. She had 9 kids that didn't have no man in the house to take care of neither one of us. So at the age of 12, I had to become a man, and by God, I've been a man ever since. And I'll tell you something, Outsider. If you want to jump on somebody, if you want a man to fight, you got a 6'2", 250-pound brick out that will whoop you and tell you as black as he is. Because I am not no play card. You and Sterling Gurley, Ernie Ladd, the whole Heenan family, Cox, everybody. You let me tell you something. They heard this, and here it good. I'm here to stay, brother. I love Georgia, and ain't nobody going to run me out. Figure 4 or no figure 4.
Talking about that figure 4, I'll tell you something. I want you to watch where Austin Idol gained all of his knowledge from the former world heavyweight champion, Buddy Rogers. And let's take a look at this, Tony. Well, thank you very much, Charlie Platt. I hear some great things are going on in the great state of Alabama and Southeastern Championship Wrestling, and I understand you're doing an outstanding job, too, and we're certainly very proud of you. Right now, I have with me the only man in the history of professional wrestling ever to hold the NWA World Heavyweight Championship and the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Championship, Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. He's also the man who developed the figure 4 leg grapevine and the atomic knee drop. And Buddy, obviously, the figure 4 leg grapevine has become perhaps one of the most devastating and most successful holds in professional wrestling.
Well, I believe in both of them because I invented that hold, and it's been very good to me. But if you look back through the history of it, by golly, Jack Briscoe used it and became champion, and Eddie Graham was a superb wrestler. He used it. His son, Mike Graham, used it. There's many other wrestlers have used it, and everyone have been very, very successful. But I would like to say this. Austin Idol, who I've worked out with and is in superior shape, and I do believe stands to be the next world's champion if he gets that chance, does know his hold and knows it thoroughly. And I do know that if he puts it on someone, he will get the job done.
I'll tell you what, I wonder, buddy, there are a lot of people who aren't familiar with seeing the hole. They've seen it applied upon occasion, but I don't think they've ever seen it applied in, if you will, slow motion and working through it. All right, Buddy Rogers is going to demonstrate now. He has Buzz Sawyer and Don Serrano in the ring. Now, mind you, they're going to be going at about 1/4 speed. Now, notice he places the foot in between the two, crosses the leg over. Sawyer then comes down on his back. Now, clamps over, and even without trying to put any pressure on, you could see the pain cross the face of Don Serrano, because once that is, you have 4 points of pressure. 4 points of pressure on the 2 ankles and the 2 knees, and consequently...
It's this kneecap right here where the leg runs across. That's where the main pressure is.
And as you heard Buddy Rogers say, the main pressure is on the 1 kneecap, but there are 4 points, and obviously an extremely dangerous situation. Separating them now once again, but there you have it. Nature Boy Buddy Rogers demonstrating exactly how the figure 4 is placed on an opponent. It has brought him many titles in the past, and as he said, and I'd like to get him to reiterate that comment if he will, but you do feel that this man Austin Idol has that...
Austin Idol, without a doubt, should be the next champion, and I do know one thing. He knows this hold thoroughly.
There you have it, from the master himself, the man who invented the hold, Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. Now, Charlie, back to you. Well, as a matter of fact, we're right back to me, and Tony, of course, you saw that entire situation. You realize that Idol has that $1,000 challenge up, but bear in mind, he puts the hold on, and you found out how difficult and how painful that is.
Well, you also bear in mind that Austin Idol, he put the hold on with the help of one Bobby Jaggers. He didn't do it by himself. It took both of them to put the hold on me. Now, Austin Idol, if you think you bad enough and mean enough to put the hold on me by yourself, you come on and you slap this hold on my knee one more time. I got out of it one time, and if you want to, you can stick it on me again, and I guarantee you the next time you put it on me, I'm coming out of it, and I'm going to bust your face wide open, boy.
Gordon, it seems we all got troubles. Tony's got the same trouble with this Austin Idol that I got with Killer Karl Cox. And you know, Friday night, that's when it's all happening. Killer Karl Cox, Mr. Bobby Heenan, I'm going to go right through Cox, because then I got 5 minutes with you, Heenan. So that means I got everything on the line. The belt, it's all on the line. Friday night at the auditorium. So look at it right now, Cox. Look long and hard, brother. Because every morning, just like I said earlier, when I get up, I've been looking at it good. And just a while ago was a little sample of what you're going to get, because I ain't going to finish till I get through with you.
Well, there you have it. It's all going to happen, of course, this coming Friday night. The Georgia Heavyweight Championship on the line, and if Tommy RIch is successful in defeating Killer Karl Cox, he will then have 5 minutes alone with pretty boy Bobby Heenan. As an outstanding series of matches this coming Friday night at the Atlanta City Auditorium. Don't forget, too, Buzz Sawyer and Ricky Fields going up in a no disqualification match against Sergeant Jacques Goulet and, of course, Chris Markoff. And don't forget, next Friday night, November 9th, wrestling in Knoxville at the Civic Coliseum.
The word is time. You know, there might be more harmony and peace in our world if we'd allow more time for communicating with each other. Have you ever tried to share something with another person, but his fidgeting and looking at his watch or other mannerisms made it obvious that he didn't have time for you? Disappointing, isn't it? On the other hand, how wonderful it is to be greeted as if your welfare is of the utmost importance and time is no factor.
For your free copy of Words from Unity, write Unity Television, Unity Village, Missouri, 64063.
I'm Steve Allen. Remember to take time. Your full attention could be the turning point in someone's life.
Every day's a great day on the Superstation.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm here.
How do you do? Some of you have expressed a lack of confidence in the men that fly the big jets, and that's why I invited Howard Borden. Howard Borden is a navigator. He's been one for over 15 years, and he's logged over 25 million miles without incident.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm late, but I got lost.
I ain't gonna rupture myself for no $10. Pop
Now, don't you understand? We're not just getting $10. The man is giving us a Steinway.
The man is giving us a hernia.
And in the Bible it says, God made man in his own image. He made women after, from a rib, cheaper cut.
This hour's wrestling personality profile concerns Bobby Heenan and the entire Heenan family. And right now we're going to take a look at Mr. Heenan, gives some heed to his comments. He is, no question about it, a highly successful manager. Let's turn it over to Freddie Miller.
Thanks very much, Gordon. You know, everybody, we're happy to have you tuned in, of course, always to At Ringside. It's a very important feature for us to go behind the scenes and talk in depth with the wrestlers. Now, a man who deserves giving credit where it's due, the accolades of being an astute manager. Whether you like him or not, you must admit Bobby Heenan is one of the most successful managers in the history of professional wrestling. He and some of his family, the Superstar and Killer Karl Cox, are with us today. So welcome to this program, Mr. Heenan.
You know, there's an awful lot of controversy always surrounding the Bobby Heenan family. You probably wonder why. Well, you know, anytime you manage winners, anytime you are a winner, anytime you're on top, there's always controversy. Look at the New York Yankees, world champions in baseball. Look at all the controversies they had with Reggie Jackson, Billy Martin. There's always going to be press on you. There's always going to be people knocking you. There's always going to be people that are jealous of you. Now, you can take wrestlers like Tommy RIch, Stan Hansen, Ole Anderson, Bob Armstrong, Tony Atlas. I could go on and on and on. They're all jealous. They'd love to be members of the family. They'd love for me to call them and contact them to ask about joining the family. But first of all I manage is winners. I have no time for losers. I have no time for crybabies. I have no time for people that always sniffle and whine and beg and plead that aren't men when you have to get into that ring. That's why I've always surrounded myself. In 15 years as a wrestling manager, I've surrounded myself with the best in professional wrestling. And these are two of them right here, the Superstar and Killer Karl Cox.
They are two of the best. They are excellent in the ring. But I want to say this. There's been some rumors flying that you are maybe hiring some folks to make sure that several people of national prominence aren't going to get hurt, and you're going to have something to do with it.
Well, I've heard that rumor, too. People have made accusations that maybe the family's trying to wipe out a lot of people to keep them out of championship contention for the heavyweight championship of the world. But, you know, that's not really true. You know, I would nothing more than I would like than the Superstar Karl Cox or Blackjack Lanza or anybody I'm associated with to become the heavyweight champion of the world. But let's get down to the most important things. Are the people that have to make lies. Now, I've never stood out here, neither has the Superstar Cox, and lied about one thing. I've always told the truth. I'm not a loudmouth. I'm not a big mouth. I've always prided myself on that. This man, when he first came here, he had a Cobra hold for $1,000. Anybody can break it. We had to raise the ante to $3,000. We still have $3,000. There are no takers. This man here, the Brainbuster hold. Dusty Rhodes, they picked him up with a blotter one night in the Atlanta City Auditorium and carried him out of the ring. Tommy RIch, everybody else has felt what the Brainbusters felt like. They've had pains in their heads for weeks, for months. I don't have to stand out here and keep bragging about these men. Their records prove it.
I want to do something here, though, Mr. Heenan. Since you mentioned your men, I would like to show something of the Superstar and Killer Karl Cox in action. The voice of Gordon Soley describing just for a few seconds some of their moves, and let's see if we can pick that up right now. The Superstar and Killer Karl Cox in action.
Cox rolled out of the way. Allen got his throat on that turnbuckle in the ropes. Cox crashes down across his chest. Count of 3. And using it very effectively, forced Lynn Owen to fever. Must be going on instinct alone at this point. Caught again. Over. It is all over. The Superstar continues to hold it. Bobby Heenan lighting his victory cigar, and there his hand being raised in victory as a Superstar.
Well, you know, I like that piece of tape because it shows that Killer Karl Cox can beat somebody without using the Brainbuster. Shows the Superstar can use other moves to pin people. That's why these men are champion. Now I'd like you to talk to the Superstar and Killer Karl Cox.
All right.
You know, as Mr. Heenan said, it's very, very lonely at the top. There's a lot of jealousy around here because there's a lot of people that want involved in our family. They look at our group and they know we're very close-knit. We can depend on each other. We can rely on each other. We don't have to worry about somebody sneaking up from the rear and attacking us from the back. Now, there's a lot of confusion around Georgia at the present time. Now, I must admit that I've got my goals set on some belts. Killer Karl Cox, he wants the belts back. And we've got some obstacles. We've got some hurdles to go over. I don't care who steps in the way. I don't care who it is, Ole Anderson, Tommy RIch, Stan Hansen, Muscle Man Tony Atlas. Put your carcass in the ring. Now, you fellows are standing out here and you're preaching, you're yelling, you're screaming. We're very, very calmly stating the fact. We're going to make some changes. We're going to hurt some people. We're going to do what the family does best. Go through people at all cost. Just put yourself in the way, and you're going to get hurt.
Thank you, Superstar, Mr. Cox and Mr. Heenan, for being at ringside. Yes.
Before 1980 rolls around, the Bobby Heenan family will own the television championship, the Georgia heavyweight championship, and the tag team championship before 1980.
In the words of Gordon Soley, that remains to be seen. Let's go back to Gordon right now.
I smoke so many cigars.
Thank you very much. I want to talk to Ole Anderson and Stan Hansen. And
well, first of all, here's the one belt for the Georgia Tag Team Championship. Ernie Ladd's got the other one. We've made a challenge, and we're going to stick with it. Heenan says he wants a match for these belts, and he'll accept a match between Hansen and I and Ernie Ladd and any partner that Heenan can get for him. Well, I'll tell you what. Stan and I talked about it. You get yourself together, Heenan. You get Ladd, you get a partner, because next week right here on TV, Stan and I will defend the Georgia Tag Team belts. Ernie puts your belt up, I'll put my belt up, and the best team walk out the winner right on TV. All right?
Well, indeed. There's an offer that certainly Mr. Heenan cannot refuse. There's no question about that. I can feel very assured in my own mind that he'll accept that very quickly.
Well, let me tell you, all the shenanigans that this dadgum Heenan has been pulling. Next week, you heard Ole, we're going to be right here together. We're going to be the team of the future. We're going to come in there next week right here on television. Nobody's going to pull the wool. Nobody's going to trick us. Nobody's going to do nothing except have to get in the ring right here on television for the world to see and beat us for this belt right here.
You know what's going to be interesting about that is the first thing that they've got to go through is the Atlanta City Auditorium. The first thing they're going to have to do is get by that brass knuckles match. Friday night, when we go into that Atlanta City Auditorium, we're going to have our hands all taped up. Ernie Ladd, you're great at pounding people in the head with a shoe. Bobby Heenan's great at coming up behind him maybe with a cigar. Superstar Cox, they're all a bunch of bums. They're all doing those things. Well, Stan and I have done them a lot longer, and we did it a lot better. Friday night, we get down to that Atlanta City Auditorium. We're going to have our hands all taped up. And Ernie, I can't wait. You get your shoe off. In fact, I'll even help you take your shoe off. And when you do, I'll whack it right back across your nose, break you in about 14 pieces. You're 6'9" now, but when we get done, he's going to be about 3 feet tall and a little bit of ball down there in that auditorium.
You know, if you stomp all the manure out of somebody, Ernie Ladd's going to be about that tall. Brass knucks, anything goes. We're going to tape our fists, bring stuff in there. We're going to give you all a beating. That's why we're going to be confident next Saturday on TV. We're going to put those belts up because there ain't going to be nothing left of you.
We'll find out Friday night at the Atlanta City Auditorium. The Georgia Tag Team Championship.
Well, let me tell you something, Gordon. You had a couple of guys out here shooting off hard at it, but that egg-sucking dog, Ole Anderson. Everybody know you're a thief, Ole Anderson. Well, you got what you had coming to you last Friday. But coming up in the near future, I got my partner. I'll be right on television. I'll beat your filthy socks off and take that other belt. Beat you like the dog that you really are.
What about Friday night at the Atlanta City Auditorium?
At the City Auditorium, I have a man. But be in a tape fist, brass knuckles. Come any way you can. With anybody you can, with old Hog Jaw, Stan Hansen. You see how dumb he is. He's the same idiot when he tried to play football. He stayed up all night studying for a blood test. That's how dumb that idiot is. And he's going to get in the square circle against the mighty, mighty superstar and yours truly, Ernie Ladd. Tape, fist, brass knucks, any way you want it, and I'll finish the job, Ole Anderson, you egg-sucking dog, you.
This tag team event will be one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from Georgia, weighing in at 240 pounds, Jack Fore. His partner from Texas, weighing in at 220 pounds, Joe Powell. Their opponents now entering the ring from Borger, Texas, weighing in at 320 pounds, Stan Hansen. His partner from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing in at 249 pounds, co-holder of the Georgia Tag Team Championship, Ole Anderson.
Ole Anderson and Stan Hansen going up against Jack Fore. And Powell, and it is Hansen and Anderson. Hansen and Anderson very quickly unleashing everything they have. punishment there, and Hansen catches him coming in. And you talk about a devastating combination. This has got to be it right here. Again, they tag up. Anderson catches him again. Has him down. Makes the tag, and Stan Hansen, the bad man from Borger, Texas, moves in. Caught him with that lariat coming off the ropes. And no question about that.
Now you tell that egg-sucking lad to get his butt down there at Atlantic City Auditorium, and we'll do the same to him.
Yeah, bring him on, boys. The lariat, Hog Joe's and the Hog Dog. You're coming.
All right, you heard it. There it is. This coming Friday night, of course, at the Atlantic City Auditorium. Brass Knucks rules. They'll be coming in with their fists taped up, and it's going to be something indeed. Tommy RIch gets a chance at Killer Karl Cox, and if he beats Cox, he'll have 5 minutes alone with Bobby Heenan.
They've fallen into my trap again. We conned and outsmarted the big dummy Stan Hansen. He is no longer the television champion. Now we got Ole Anderson, that big Minnesota turncoat loudmouth out here, telling you what him and Hansen are going to do. I'll tell you what you're going to do next week. You're going to step in that ring. You're going to bring the belt. But when it's all over and done with, Mr. Anderson, you and Hansen, you better get a bunch of friends to carry your busted carcasses out of that ring, because next week you're going to be looking at new Georgia champions. But the important thing on my mind is Friday night at the Atlantic City Auditorium. Tape fist, brass knucks match, right? Ole Anderson and Hansen against the Superstar and Ernie Ladd. I doubt if Hansen and Ole Anderson will be able to defend a title here on TV. Now, we're going to beat them up pretty bad Friday night, but we're going to leave just a little bit left for television Saturday. And then Tommy RIch, you've made that ludicrous statement that if you beat Karl Cox, you won 5 minutes with me. Well, maybe I don't even care about 5 minutes with you. Maybe I won't even go with those stipulations. Maybe I'll just want you after the match any way it goes. You know, I'm tired of having my back pushed to a corner. I'm tired of people giving me bad accusations, people knocking me. You know, I got 5 minutes. I tore that patch off your face, and you felt pain like you never felt before. For 5 minutes, I'm going to do that next Friday night. Win or lose, you're scarred for life, punk.
We'll find out Friday night at the Atlanta City Auditorium.
Match will be one fall with a TV time limit. Introducing first from Tampa, Florida, weighing in at 320 pounds, Sterling Golden. Sterling Golden. His opponent from Riverdale, Georgia, weighing in at 235 pounds, Marvin Turner. Marvin Turner.
Marvin Turner going up against Sterling Golden. Golden, who uses that golden squeeze so very, very effectively, using a powerful sledgehammer blows to the back of Marvin Turner. Smashes him down once again. Turner on the canvas in the blue trunks. Sterling Golden brings him up. A running backbreaker. Turner in trouble trying to get over to those ropes if he could. And it is Sterling Golden catching him with the golden squeeze. And he is conceding. The referee calling for the bell. It is all over for Marvin Turner. Sterling Golden moving very effectively. A man of awesome strength, no question about that. Let me take just a moment to talk to him. Obviously, Mr. Turner could only take so much of that golden squeeze, and then he had to give up.
Let me tell you what it's all about, Gordon Sully. About 5 weeks ago, a man named Sterling Golden came storming Norman into Atlanta, Georgia. Everybody's been running scared. They've been feeding me this grade B meat every week on TV. I want the best now. All these superstars, they've been hiding in the eye of the storm, brother. I've been whipping everybody out here, and I want only the best competition from now on. I'm getting sick of this. I don't even get a workout in the ring. And the $1,000 challenge for the golden squeeze is still up. Anybody that can break the squeeze, I will shut out $1,000 if you got the guts to get in the ring.
Well, indeed, and so the challenge is still there. That's interesting, too, now with the $1,000 challenge on the part of Austin Idol. If anybody can break that figure 4. Of course, the Superstar still has a $3,000 up for anybody who can break the Cobra hold.
Standby match, one fall with a TV time limit from New York, weighing in at 235 pounds, Bill Howard. His opponent, weighing in at 200 pounds, Lewis Haney.
Bill Howard moves out. Howard complaining about his trunks being pulled. And you can hear the crowd here at Channel 17 Sports Arena picking up the chant, Howard the Coward is what they call him. He is not too popular a competitor. Levy holding him in there now. Howard bulls him back into the ring ropes. Howard drives a knee. Howard catches him with an elbow. Howard smashing him into the turnbuckle, and his man is staggered. Snapmare takes him to the canvas. Howard crashes into the head using his knee very effectively. Bill Howard, short chopping punch to the forehead again. And Howard flailing away now into a front chancery, keeping him tied up. Howard keeping him trapped, and Howard asking the referee to ask him if he wants to concede. The snapmare takes his man to the canvas once again. Bill Howard twisting the head now. And so Bill Howard exerting tremendous pressure. The man still not conceding, however. Forearm across the chest. And so Howard has totally dominated his opponent thus far. And they're into the ropes, and the referee forcing him back. Pardon me. Really? Okay, let me, this is absolutely amazing. Tommy RIch has just sent word out to me that next week he's going to defend his Georgia heavyweight championship right here on television, and I'll be explaining that to you in just a moment. So Bill Howard defeats his man and comes away victorious, but right now the thing that's on my mind, and just listen to this now, Tommy RIch has sent word to me that next week he will defend his Georgia television championship, his Georgia heavyweight championship right here on television, and he said put these names in the hat and then we'll draw a name for next week. And listen to the names that he's going to throw in the hat and draw one. King Kong Mosca, Superstar, Ox Baker, Killer Karl Cox, Ernie Ladd, Austin Idol, Sterling Golden, The Sheik, Pack Song, or Blackjack Lanza. So that means that next week, I don't know, I think Tommy RIch is biting off an awful lot and putting a tremendous risk out here by putting his Georgia heavyweight championship on the line next week here on television. We'll also be having the Georgia Tag Team Championship on the line. Ernie Ladd and the partners of his choice going up against Ole Anderson and Stan Hansen. So what a sensational 2 hours we're going to have next week here on Georgia Championship Wrestling. But this really comes as a surprise to me that Tommy RIch will be drawing one of these names from the hat next week to defend his title. And again, let me run down this most impressive lineup of competitors. King Kong Mosca, the Superstar, Ox Baker, Killer Karl Cox, Ernie the Cat Ladd, Austin Idol, Sterling Golden, The Sheik, Hack Song, or Blackjack Lanza. Now that is an impressive lineup indeed. And Tommy Wildfire RIch, of course, he has said before, he is the people's champion, he is the Georgia heavyweight champion, and he wants to defend that title and defend it with honor, and that's obviously what he has in mind.
Alliance. The announcer
announcers on this program are employed by Georgia Championship Wrestling Incorporated.
Last